So regardless whether you're a professional photographer or someone who's just shooting photos with your iPhone, or maybe you're a professional photographer that shoots photos with your iPhone, I don't know. But we've all taken photos where we're so zoned in on the subject of the photo that we just happen to miss something in the background. You have that random person you didn't notice. You have a random animal you didn't notice. You have some trash. Something ended up in the photo that you don't want in the photo. And you've already left, you're back to your office or studio or home or whatever, and that's when you realize it. So it's not like you can just go reshoot that moment. However, today on Tooltip Thursday, I'm gonna show you a really cool trick. Some of you may know this already, some of you may not. I just remember when I first found out about it, it was revolutionary. It was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd known that sooner. So regardless whether you know it or not, stick around and check out my way of taking care of this problem. And for you guys that stick around towards the end of the video, I have a bonus tip there for you also. All right, so we have a nice picture. This is a picture I shot a little while ago. We have this nice seagull right here in the middle. Now, the seagull is actually one of the subjects of this picture, but let's suppose that the seagull is not wanted in the picture, because this is a pretty simple one. I'm gonna hit my L key, or I'm gonna get my lasso tool and go ahead and draw an outline around this seagull. I'm gonna be pretty careful, but I'm not gonna spend 10, 15 minutes on this. I'm just gonna kind of, get around it, make sure I include a shadow if one's there. Shift Delete brings this box up, and there's your content aware. Now there's other methods, but to do what we're gonna do, you're gonna stay with content aware. And so after you select content aware, it should automatically come up. You're gonna go to your mode, and this is just like a blending mode. You need to leave that at normal, and the opacity needs to stay at 100%. And bam, where's the seagull? And there's your before shot with the seagull still in the frame. And let me take you to the edited shot. The seagull is gone. And look at the sand in the water there. If we zoom in on this, you're gonna be able to see what effect this process had on the picture. It's not a whole lot. And some scenes are much more complex and some are very simple like this one. I wanted to start with a pretty simple one. So here's where you'd go in with your clone stamp or your healing brush or whatever method you use to kind of alter these things, and just make some minor adjustments to make sure that what's left of the scene looks natural and that you didn't, try to Photoshop it. Here's another scene, nice beach scene, and the photo's been edited. It's pretty much a final photo. However, I notice that this lady is in my scene and I don't want her in my scene. Now, this is gonna show you how you need to be a little bit more careful. You need to, stay as close to the subject as possible. Be careful about shadows. You can see right there where I'm at, there's some shadows. And you need to make a decision as far as getting rid of the shadows or keeping the shadows. Now, the shadows are caused by that cart in this scene. However, if I get rid of them totally, no one will ever notice. I'm gonna go ahead and continue my outline with the lasso. And then I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the same process. However, if you go to the edit menu and go to fill, it'll bring up the same window. So you can do your content aware fill, and bam, she's gone. And let me show you a before and an after. Before, after. That sand just looks, it's perfect. This computer is so smart at doing this. It's a really incredible tool. Now on this last photo, I'm gonna show you some special stuff. Let's say you have this photo and you wanna make it just a little bit bigger to one side or another. You grab your crop tool and you make sure you uncheck delete pixels and check your content aware, drag your crop over and hit the check mark. It just added on to the photo. Did you see that? So let's go back. There's your before shot. It's amazing what this thing can do. Now let's say we're gonna do the same thing. We wanna add to the top. It's a little more complex at the top. We have these clouds and that can get a little more complex. So let's go ahead, same settings, uncheck the deleted pixels, check your content aware, and bam, we have more sky. Undo, there's your before, and there's your after. Photoshop is literally adding on to your picture. It's using the information it has in the existing picture and adding on to it. Now, it's not a perfect tool. You know, you're not going to be able to use this for incredibly complex and contrasted pictures. You use your healing brush and your clone stamp the best that you can, but if you're trying to add on too much, the tool does have its limitations. As you can see here, when you try to do too much with it, you're going to get a lot of repetitive pixels, and it's just trying to use what it has to create more photo, but it can only do so much here. It's not as smart as we are. We see the problems. The tool in Photoshop doesn't. Now, you could go through and try to fix that, but it's going to probably take a lot longer than you really should put into it, and it's not going to come out as good as it should. So just know that it has some limitations. Here's a spot that's really nice about this. If you're going to rotate your picture, either you have to lose size in the picture, like with these white spots here, and crop down, or with this feature, make sure that your deleted pixels is unchecked, your content aware is checked. Look, see how that horizon is? Before, after. It filled in those white areas with picture, and it looks good before and your after. This is a really, really great tool, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you get to use this tool to make your photography better, and I can't wait to see you next time.